Have you finished the week completely exhausted, but then your business hasn't actually even moved forward? Or do you even stop to ask yourself, when you're feeling exhausted, what have I actually achieved? Welcome back to Clarity in a Cup. I'm Jackie Stewart. So your clarity truth this week is being busy doesn't automatically mean that you are growing or building your business. Sometimes being busy is avoidance of the things that you know you should be doing, but you're not actually doing. I mean, busy is a thing that a lot of people think means that they're productive, right? A lot of people think I'm busy, or they may look at that person and think, oh, she's always busy, can't get hold of her business must be really doing well, blah, 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 blah. But it's not always productive, because what we tend to do, I'm guilty of this, sometimes we're busy doing the stuff that's not bringing in income or growing the business. We're doing all these admin tasks, we're checking every single email, responding to every email immediately, even the ones that aren't important. I'm talking to me right now. We're busy. We're doing all the admin stuff because it's easier, right? And because it's just easier, and it's almost like a ticking off list as well. If you get this ticked off, checked emails, did this, do that, then you can tend to feel that you've been productive. But actually, what have you actually done to grow your business? And that's where sometimes we actually get really stuck, right? Because what happens is the important work that we know we should be doing, it's uncomfortable. And because it's uncomfortable, we therefore don't want to tackle it. Let's do the other stuff, because actually, if we do the easy stuff, at least we've got them done, right? But the uncomfortable things like marketing, lead generation, checking your finances, all these things that can make us feel a bit more uncomfortable, but that actually things that are going to help to grow our business, things that are going to help to bring the income in, they tend to get left, and we just get busy doing all sorts of other things. Maybe one of the things that we need to start doing is, I know I used to do this, so I would say, right, what do I need to get done this week? So maybe like on a Sunday evening or first thing on a Monday, I would plan the things that need to be done. Not necessarily things that are going to grow my business, but in my mind, things that I've told myself need to be done. And look, they may be things that need to be done too, right? But it's about prioritizing the busyness, right? And so when I look at that, I never see anything on there that is lead generating, or might put a bit of social media on there on the list, but nothing really that's going to grow my business. Even me, who tells you to look at your finances, I guess for me it's a little bit more automatic, so it doesn't tend to go on the list. However, what happens is, if it's not on the list and I get busy doing other stuff, I get to the end of the week and I think, oh, I didn't do that thing that was important. And especially when you work with clients, because what happens is your client work becomes more important than your own business, right? So you focus more on what they need, and then your business doesn't get any time allocated to it to grow or to develop. And we need to stop doing that. It's like my husband would come in from work and he'd be like, he could usually tell by my mood, and he may say like, busy one was it? And I'd be like, yeah. Next day, busy one was it? Yeah. And I had to stop and ask myself, but what was I actually busy doing? Now I was busy working, but what were the things that I was doing that could have been left for another day, and that I never focused on growing the business? And that's why for some of you and for some of my clients that I've seen over the years, their business never grows, because the focus is never on what needs to grow the business. And that's what we need to stop doing. So what we should do, instead of saying, what do I need to get done this week? One question to ask is, what can I do that's going to grow my business this week? I remember a coach saying to me before, every single day you need to do an income generating task, an IGT. Every day, some time has to be allocated to generating income. And I would say that's true. And so I started to do that. And then I dropped off because I didn't hold myself accountable and I didn't tell anyone I was doing that, which is always key to get the important things done. Get someone to hold you accountable so that you make sure you do it. So we're not going to be busy just for the sake of being busy anymore. We're going to be intentional about what we put in our schedule, and so that we don't become, that person who's always busy, but busy doing what? We want to be that person who is intentionally putting allocated time into our day to grow our business. And look, with the finances, which is what I mainly talk about, right? You don't even have to do that every day. It's not a task. If it's a task you don't like doing, I'm not even telling you to do it every day. I encourage people to at least have a monthly financial day, at the very least. Allocate one day. That's being intentional, because on that day, this is where your focus is. And I was speaking to a client recently, and my God, she made my heart swell, because this is exactly what she started to do. But what she's done is she's broken it down a bit more than that. So she didn't want to do one day. She wanted to allocate 4 hours weekly to doing her financial admin tasks. And she said it's been a game changer. So the proof is in the pudding, it works. So let's do that. So how about the next time you plan your week or your day, you literally put in some time that's going to help your business to move forward and grow forward. I will see you on the next video of Clarity in a Cup.